All right, we got to play this. This is Eric Dickerson here. Eric Dickerson's had some strong opinions ever since I've known about Eric Dickerson, since I was a little kid.
How many people sent you this clip? For me, it was over 100.
Plenty of people sent me this. This is Eric Dickerson saying there is conspiracy afoot that the NFL didn't want Shedeur Sanders getting drafted.
And I'll tell you this much here, what I heard from someone that's in the NFL, that the NFL told don't draft him. Do not draft him. We're gonna make an example out of him. And this came from a very good source. And he said that, I won't say who, somebody called the Cleveland Browns and said, don't do that. Draft
really?
him. Yep, draft him. Don't do that. Because they weren't going to draft him either. They weren't going to draft him. Mm-mm. They were forced into drafting him because somebody made a call to them. When I say this is a NFL side source for sure.
Eric's saying that they called the Browns and said to draft him?
Yes.
Yeah, and the boycott or whatever. And go get him.
See, I have respect for Eric Dickerson as a football player, and I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't believe that. If he would have said that the NFL called and said, you better not draft this guy, don't do it, I would believe him, because the Browns have not gone the way the NFL wants them to go here over the last few years. I think that's pretty clear. When it came to the guaranteed contract and some of the other stuff, I think the Browns have kind of done their own thing, and it's upset a lot of people in the NFL. If they would have said, you better not draft him or we're going to have a problem with you, and they drafted him anyway, I go, yeah, maybe that's really believable. Maybe that's really believable. I don't know what made him last to the fifth round, man. I have no idea. It is a weird-ass thing. And again, maybe we'll see. Maybe he'll go out there at some point this year and he's going to suck up the room, and then we'll find out, okay, now we find out why he went in the fifth round.
So
maybe
Kenny,
we find out, but things just don't add up right now.
I laugh at these types of conspiracies. I'm like, there's 32 teams. These owners all want to literally do whatever it takes to get over on the other one. That's all they care about. Sure, they're friends when it comes to making money, but when it comes to, doing everything they can to put their team in position to get a steal, whether it's a draft pick, whether it's just whatever edge they could possibly get. I laugh at these conspiracy theories every single time until the Lamar Jackson thing happened, when he had a chance to become, I guess, a restricted free agent. And all these quarterback-starved teams, not one of them even made an offer to the guy that has won 2 MVPs. Really, it could have been 3. Let's be honest. Last year might have been his best year. It could have been 3 MVPs, and not one other team in the NFL. Like, this league does have a way to collude. This team does have a way. Now, would they collude? Here's where he loses me. Why would they pick Shedeur Sanders? First of all, likable kid. I don't care. The people that don't pay attention don't think he's likable because they don't know anything about him. The people that called us about nepotism, and it's like, have you ever actually watched him deal with people in the community?
The most famous call we had was nepotism, and then the guy wanted to take Arch Manning.
Yeah, I know. In the very next sentence.
He's thrown about 6 passes in his college career so far.
And there's one clip during a game that has been referenced of him being kind of crappy towards an opposing ball boy. Okay. I mean, do you want to show Baker Mayfield and how he acted towards people on a football field with utter disdain? Okay, so that one doesn't pass muster with me. Why Shedeur? Someone's got to explain to me why. You say, he built a brand. Have you seen Caleb Williams? Have you seen Jaden Daniels? Like, all these guys not only transfer, they play at 3 different high schools, 3 or 4 different colleges. Mm-hmm. They all have NIL money now. They all have a brand. They all have a huge social media following. Welcome to the future of the NFL. So explain to me, whether it's Eric Dickerson, whoever, the conspiracy loses when you tell me it's a guy that ends up getting taken in the 5th round.
But you're saying
that's where you lose me.
But you think it's believable because of Lamar?
I think it's believable that in extreme situations where after the Deshaun Watson deal, all the owners said, hey, we are not the NBA. We are not going to be held hostage by the latest and greatest player for guaranteed contracts, and then in turn every guy in the NFL, a league where one injury, see Nick Chubb, and your career might be over. Like, we are not doing guarantee contracts. So we have to hold firm. So what happens after the Deshaun Watson? And now we know there was collusion. There absolutely was collusion when it came to Lamar Jackson. So I'm not going to. That's where they lose me.
Why
doesn't make any sense?
Him?
In fact, He seems like an awesome guy to promote if you're the NFL.
There's just no way.
Think of how many fans. Think how many fans are now paying attention to the Browns preseason games. And then the minute he's on the fourth on the depth chart, they might go away. But why would you not want that as part of your marketing wing? Where I know the NFL markets teams, they also get a lot of the marketing, some of the individuals. And Shedeur would be one of those.
Why him, though? All the reasons you make is why a team would draft him and why the NFL wouldn't be calling people to not draft him. So unless he's the devil in disguise and we have no idea about that, why on earth would the NFL do that? That's where I'm lost on it. You are absolutely right. The Lamar Jackson thing, listen, they're very powerful people. They will do anything they can to protect themselves.
I know people will roll their eyes, some people, half the people, but, Colin Kaepernick could have easily been on rosters.
Oh, yeah.
But it was
10 years later when we were still getting
not 10
calls,
years later, but he was definitely good enough. Maybe not to guarantee a starting spot.
Oh, clearly.
He was definitely good enough to be on rosters, and the rest of the league said, no.
Clearly.
We don't really feel like dealing with this anymore.
Jeff in University Heights, you're first up on the Fan.
Yes, good morning, guys. This is very believable. The NFL is the most hypocritical sports league in America, for number one, and you just pointed out one of the facts about it with Lamar Jackson. What do we hear all the time? It's all about winning. Winning's not everything, it's the only thing, blah, blah, blah. And yet you have a talent like Lamar Jackson, but all of a sudden it's not about winning, it's about politics. And there's no way in the world that you can convince me, even with my public school education that was supposedly substandard, which it wasn't, even though I went to a public college, the Ohio State University, not a private school. Even with that education, there's no way you can tell me that there were 143 players in this draft better than Shedeur Sanders. The NFL was sending a message to the Sanders family. I don't know if it's to Shedeur or Dion or both, but of course, I agree 100% with Eric.
But why? What was the message? I don't know. What is the message?
The message is that they felt, for whatever reason, that Shedeur and his dad had a sense of entitlement or arrogance, and so they wanted to show them that this is still our league and you're not going to come in here dictating things. So,
are you talking about over the?
Why didn't they do it with Johnny Manziel then?
Jeff, are you saying this because it is pretty clear now that the Sanders were very picky, choosy on who they were going to talk to, interview with? Like, they didn't like that activity.
Well, possibly, but Tony, didn't the Mannings do the same thing when Eli came out? The NFL doesn't like a self-assured, arrogant type of black man like Deion Sanders, and that's how they perceive his son to be. There is no, again...
You don't think the NFL loved Deion Sanders when he was playing and the marketing of him, the networks marketed him to no end? They didn't love that?
Remember, he went to Dallas at the same... And Jerry's maybe the most powerful of all the NFL owners. I know he sounds like a crazy person anymore, but he is like the most powerful. Like, there's owners and then there's like the inner circle, and Jerry's the head of the inner circle. And remember, that was at the time where they opened up all the marketing things. Like, there was the official so-and-so of the Dallas Cowboys, and Deion was there. I mean, Jerry Jones made a lot of money with Deion Sanders.
Okay, Ken and Tony, just answer me one question. Were there 143 players in this?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
I agree with you.
So
I agree with you.
What other explanation can you have then? This kid dropped all the... Heck, he's better than the guy that the Browns drafted ahead. Eric Dickerson is right. It was a conspiracy to send a message to the Sanders fans.
I agree with you. See, Jeff. Let me tell you. I agree with Jeff I agree with Jeff to a certain degree, and let me tell you why. Jeff, thank you for the call. I'm tired of letting the Mannings just run everything when it comes to the NFL draft. Is anybody else? I mean, good God. So Shedeur Sanders has to go fifth round, but hey, Arch Manning. I mean, I'm saying, are there teams not willing to give his grandfather a 1% stake at some point? We're just going to let the Mannings do everything they want?
And you know what? Like, Jeff, I did not want to dismiss the race card.
TV show.
I didn't want to dismiss the race card entirely because I do think for the longest period of time, I mean, the black quarterback was something that a lot of owners were uncomfortable with. I do think we gotta admit there's been progress here. I mean, Anthony Richardson, where did he go in the draft? The guy can't play, but where did he go in the draft? Like, there are plenty of African American quarterbacks that now teams are trusting.
But I think
are
you also
absolutely trusting, and